episode 31 of the Fit Pro podcast.
When you're not good at something, it's so much easier to get bored of it.
Welcome back to the Fit Pro podcast, listeners. I am your host, Marvin Fayers, and today's episode is episode 31, which is the continuation of episode 29. So if you don't go back and listen to episode 29, the first episode with Anthony Arvantakis, the creator of Homemade Muscle, you are going to be completely lost. So I recommend going back. There'll be a link in the show notes. As always, if you haven't already, make sure you head to the Facebook page at FitPro Podcast and Twitter at FitPro Podcast and Instagram at FitPro Podcast. Let me know what you think of the show. Let me know how we can get better, and just enjoy this episode, guys. I know a lot of you are asking for it, so here it is, and I will talk to you at the end. Enjoy.
That's awesome, man, because I know a few people that want to be writers and then start writing a book, and then they get like their writer's block or whatever it is. And was there ever a moment where you go, screw this book, I'm not going to do it, I'm over it? Or was it always just, this is one of my passions, I'm going to get it done?
Yeah, no, definitely in the beginning. It's just like, when you're not good at something, it's so much easier to get bored of it. But as you slowly, get good at it, as you see, like the transition, the progress of you, the way how better you write and all of that, that gets you excited. So, like when I had better writing skills, I can put my story first of all in. I could explain it a lot better to people. I could paint a lot better picture of my whole experience, and I could pass on so much more information to people, whereas in the beginning I couldn't do that, and that got me frustrated because I felt I had so much information in me and emotion and things to pass to people, but I just lacked the skills to do that. And a lot of people will say, yeah, I did that and I tried it once and I failed. Like, are you kidding me? Once? And I remember myself, like feeling really overwhelmed from the beginning because things didn't just work, and like from the first week or month or whatever. And that's the fact, basically that we're human, and that's how we're wired. We want the path of least resistance. We want things easily. We just wanna pick food off the ground and eat it, and just lay on a couch or whatever. We don't want to put effort in things, but once you start to see the value that comes out of effort, and that's basically the thing. All my life I felt that I tried to do things and I failed, and the reason for that was that all the things I tried to do were things that other people told me to do. So there was never the element of passion there, and that's the reason I never succeeded with anything. When I realized that, okay, like if you're passionate with something and you put work, it can evolve. When I realized that, I got addicted. I got addicted to self-education, to self-help books, to all kinds of books. Like before my accident, I probably read 5 books in my entire life. Let's say 10. And now I'm reading 5 books per month, sometimes. Basically always listening to an audiobook or reading to a paperback. So, you get addictive into this because you see the value. And, once you see that there's no, you can keep evolving, and there's no roof to that. Of course, there are in exercise, there are plateaus and there's stagnation. But, if you keep on working, hammering your craft every day, those plateaus will eventually break, and you get all excited then again, and so that's like a cycle that makes life so interesting. I think that's the reason I love what I do so much, because you see that there's basically no end point to this path of self-improvement, of self-evolution, of learning to be so much more valuable to the world. There was this really good book I was reading, what's the title? I suck at remembering titles. Basically, this book talks about depression, and it says most people get depressed because they can't. Basically, they're not valuable to the world. So one reason for that is that a lot of people hate their jobs. and the reason usually they hate their jobs is because they're not passionate about them, or these jobs don't offer any value. Once you learn a way to serve the world, though, through your passion, there's instantly a sense of purpose in your life. And that lack of sense of purpose is one of the most important things that makes people depressed and all that. And that makes so much more sense now when you've been on both sides. It makes so much more sense to me, because I see how much more life is, how much more fun life is when you learn to add value into people's lives through your passion. And of course, there's this quote by someone, again, I suck at names, but this quote says, when if you help enough people get what they want, you're gonna get what you want. And I really believe in this quote.
Sorry? It might have been Jim Rohn. I'm pretty sure.
Maybe, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember, man. We're the same with quotes, and we're the same with book titles. Look, I get the information, I just don't know who wrote it. But yeah, man, look, I think it's definitely a major key. Once you find your purpose, there's definitely no ceiling to your passion. And I spoke about this in the previous podcast, the Spitting Fire podcast. You are not a finished product. I think as adults, or just young adults, when we finish school and we get a job and we fall in line, I think a lot of people, again, this is not everybody, but it is the majority, tend to go, okay, I'm done learning, I'm done, this is me. And that's ridiculous. You've got how many more years of your life left, and you think you know everything right now? And you can see it just at a basic form, like when you're a teenager, and then you become going to your 20s, and you look back and you go, wow, I was dumb as a teenager. And then in your 30s, and you look back in your 20s, like, wow, what the hell was I doing? Like, there's always more knowledge out there, and once you find your passion, again, it takes a lot of people. Some people never find it, but the ones that are tuned in on finding it, the ceiling is endless, because there's so much learning out there. Everything that you want to do has been done. And if you're trying to change the world, if you're trying to be a Steve Jobs, that's on you. But if it's just like finding your passion, like with Anthony and what I'm doing, there's people out there right now that have done exactly the same thing. There's blueprints out there, and there's information out there to help you get better at it. It's not rocket science, but it's definitely not common knowledge. And look, with being an author, getting back on point, otherwise we'll just go into passion rants here. Being an author in today's world is very, very different to being an author, say, even 10 years ago. Because you're self-published, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And back in the day, just to write a paperback book, the amount of money, effort, etc., that would go into it, the amount of editors that would have to look into it. How hard is it now to publish a book on like Amazon?
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
So, like, for those out there that don't know a thing, so again, this is where you are still you're more valuable to the marketplace, because I wouldn't know how right now, and there's people that are listening to the podcast right now that wouldn't know how either. So how easy is it to publish a book on Amazon?
Well, basically, you just have to put it on a specific format, on a Word file. There are some technical things on how the text should be and the titles and this and that, but it's pretty much, just going through it for a day, I would say, and then you just have to make your account and you just upload it. You wait for a couple of days, and it's there. You
and it's done.
Of course, you need like a cover, and that's basically it. Publishing it is not the easy part. The thing is that nowadays Amazon publishes. I read the number somewhere. I don't remember. Like, I think it might even been thousands of books per day. If not thousands, for sure 100, but maybe even thousands. So there's so much information nowadays. It's easy to get your book out there. The thing is, how do you promote it after that? That's the tricky part.
And that's the part that, again, people either forget, or they go, look, my content's great and it's going to get it's going to reach the right person. They were hoping
Yeah.
for virality or something, but there is obviously an art form and there's a skill behind marketing correctly. And the craziest thing about that all is it's changing every day. When it comes to marketing,
Yeah.
it's changing every day. Whether you're using social, whether you're using the internet, every single day there is something new that there wasn't there the previous day. And there's those gurus out there that are gurus of like the online marketing side of things. But how do you now, grasping it and moving forward, how are you going to be, say, marketing your project?
Mm-hmm. Well, like, that's the thing, you know, like, even if you're the next, I don't know, like the next, what's a big author, like the next Mark Twain or the next, I don't know, Charles Dickens, and you publish your book on Amazon nowadays, I don't think it's going to get anywhere, basically. It's just going to get buried. Then again, there's the thing you said, that everything is changing so fast, and you have so many people out there, like, you know, teaching on how to do these things. But a lot of them, first of all, I've realized that a lot of people that are talking about these kind of marketing things haven't done the thing they're talking about, so they haven't done it. Like,
yeah,
a person, for example, might be talking about how to write successful books, and he hasn't written a successful book. That's one thing. Then everything is changing so much, because, you know, I read I did courses like that. I read a lot of techniques on how to promote your book and this and that. And to be honest, none of it worked for me. Then I started experimenting by myself, and I just went back to the basics of marketing. So what I did is, first of all, I don't like selling my stuff to my audience, to my subscribers. You know, like, I really like giving my stuff free. So one thing I do is that when I publish my Amazon books, I always have them for free for 5 days. So I'll send a newsletter to all my people. I'll announce it on YouTube. And, you know, I'll tell everybody, okay, it's for 5 days. Amazon allows me to have the book for free. And, you know, if you would like to just get the book now, and, you know, since I'm giving it free to you, if you'd like to write a review for me, if you like the book, I'd really appreciate it. So that's one thing, you know, I give my book for free to everyone. And they help me promote it by, you know, leaving a good review. Like, I'm never going to ask, like, you know, write me an awesome review. What I always say is just write a few words from the heart and be honest. And, you know, if you really like the book, just leave me some honest words and I'll appreciate that. So, you know, your content has to be good. You can't be sharing, like, bad content and expecting people, like, to give you a good review just because it's free. Yeah. So, like, that's the way I get a lot of people to download the book the first days. Like, nobody really knows how the algorithms and all that on Amazon work. But I think when a lot of people download your book the first day, that helps for sure. And if they leave reviews, for sure, that will help as well. And what that does is that it also helps you get ranked as a best-selling book in the free categories. So, you know, once you've ranked as a bestseller in the free category, that also creates some traction for getting your book more noticed from other people there. Because when people are Googling or Amazoning, I don't know what's the term for that, well, books on Amazon, they're going to stumble upon the best-selling books, mostly. Not only, but mostly. So that's a way how more people will see your book. And, you know, all this just creates, I think, momentum. That's what I think. I don't know if it's really the case, but it should be. It for certainly does help. So, you know, that's my first strategy. So I would say make sure that you first have a little bit of a following on social media, on, I don't know, YouTube, Instagram, whatever your choice is, or a little bit of everywhere. And, you know, try to give your book for free, have a free promotion, and, you know, have like in your book like a call to action. Tell people if they like the book, that you would really appreciate a review, and, you know, so, you know, that way you're giving free content to your people, which is great. I really like giving free content to my people, because they're the ones that supporting me. They're the ones that been with me from the beginning. You know, a lot of them, for example, So in general, it feels nice. I like doing this, but I think it also helps with the whole marketing of the book in the long term.
Yeah, for sure. Look, and that's all news to me. That's so for everybody else out there that had no idea how it all worked. That's a great strategy of giving things away for free. I mean, this podcast will never be a paid podcast. It will always be free. It'll always be free content for you, so you can learn from people like Anthony. Now, what is one of your strategies for growing on social media?
One thing that I realized lately was that Facebook is getting things on Facebook that are not promoted are getting more and more buried, more and more ignored. Like, you might have great content out there, but there's so much saturation. There's so many things going on Facebook, and people are just, they're gonna skip your content. So, one thing I do nowadays is that, because a lot of people that are scrolling on Facebook won't be in the mood to watch my whole video, for example, a YouTube video. A lot of people, I think, are scrolling on Facebook just to get like really quick information and just to pass some time if they're bored. So what I do is I put my whole video again into text. I make a big summary, and I write down all the bullet points, all the valuable things of the video. So, like all the really juicy stuff, and I just made a description so people can read it. But they can also click on the video to see it. So, like, again, this takes a lot of time because, like, if you want to transcribe a whole video and make it sexy for people, it takes time. It's, there's so many little things that people would think that, that doesn't take time. Oh, yeah, and, like, you're an internet entrepreneur or whatever, and like you just work a couple of hours a day. The reality is there's so many little things that just take so much time, and people don't even know, which is so frustrating. So once again, it's about that patience and learning to be valuable to the people. So give them more formats of your post. Have a video version of it, have an audio version of it. I haven't done that yet. Maybe I should. Have it in text. That's the thing I try to do. I try to make my content as easily digestible and accessible to people as possible. So once I started doing that, I started noticing that people are noticing my posts more. I'm getting more likes, getting more shares. So I started also writing blog posts now of my videos. So instead of putting a video out there, I'm gonna have the text version for Facebook, which will be more shorter and more to the point. I'm gonna have the blog post with all the details and the links and this and that for people who want to review the information of the video or whatever. And this way I give people like 3 versions of the content, and they can access it in whatever way they prefer. And I also boost my posts. So like you can boost your posts with Facebook ads, put like a couple of dollars, and that way it's gonna go higher on the radar for most people. Because I realize that a lot of people just lose my information, not because they're not interested in it, just because Facebook has so much stuff that it won't prioritize your content for them. When there's so many projects out there, so many more companies like promoting stuff, even stuff people don't like. So that's like that's something I've been doing the last weeks on Facebook, and it seems to work a lot, which is great.
Yeah, definitely, man. And I've noticed it as well. With again, my Facebook page, it's just a baby Facebook page. It's only been out 4 months, but really, again, it's about timing. It's about your boosting of the page. Really makes a massive difference when it comes to interaction between fans, and just getting your posts out there so that people can obviously see your content. Another one of the strategies that has been working brilliant for me, and I don't know about you, but like when you go to boost your post, right? You can choose like your audience, and I've been choosing lately. Previously I was targeting a specific audience from specific country based on the guests that I had on. Now, what I'm finding works really well is just targeting people that already like the page, because they're already interested, they like the page, and their friends. So generally, if people are like a pack mentality, oh, what's my friend looking at, sort of thing, and they'll show up on their page. But also, what's a brand new feature that I didn't notice, or it is a brand new feature, is that you can click on the people that have liked your post and invite them to like your page. I had no idea.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. That's good.
Yes,
That's
but if you click on the likes, you can actually invite those people that have liked that page. So say I'm looking at one of your posts at the moment. It's got 466 likes. Again, those may be people that already like your page, or none of them like your page. They just like your post. So it's just another avenue of, again, growing your fan base, getting more reach, and that's a strategy I've been using that's working really well. So enough about me, back to you.
Plus also posting on the time that most of your audience is online. That's another feature, I don't know if you know it. I think that also helps, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, with my medium, with podcasting, again, nobody really knows how all these algorithms work, and especially on iTunes. I have no idea how the algorithms on iTunes work. One post will say it works on ratings and reviews. One post will say it works on downloads. One post will work. It's just all over the place. So my thing is create good content, market it as best I can, and just not wish for the best, but keep going. And just like you've been going for 3 years now. You've been going. Where do you see yourself with this project in the next, let's say, next 3 years?
I would definitely like to have a lot more people on YouTube. I would like to improve my videos as well, like my presentation skills and all that. I'd like to write more books. I'm currently writing one, and writing is so much fun, because it's funny, because it's one of the things I thought that I sucked the most in my life, and once I realized I can sort of kind of get a bit better at it, it's become addictive for me. So I've basically I've fallen in love with writing and just learning how to do it better and better. So writing some more best-selling books, growing my project, and just being as more value to people as possible, just being able to create content that helps people. That's my goal, I would say.
Perfect, man. And look, you've been a great guest today. We've created some great content. We've got a lot of things out, whether it's YouTube, writing a book, your struggle, and where you're at now. Is there any parting words you would like to you're talking to the listeners direct? These are people that are either in a business, looking to get into a business, or in the fitness space, all over the world, right? So for those out there that are struggling and they're in a situation right now that is not favorable, and they'd like to go after their dreams, what is one piece of advice that you can give them? Okay, I'm gonna give you a short answer and a long answer. So the short answer is just, if you're sure that if you have passion for what you do, if you love it, and you want to succeed on it, just keep on going, keep on hammering your craft every day. Like, I don't care, whatever, even if you have to go to like I don't want to sound like really weird or dark, but even if you have I don't know, a funeral to go, or even when days are really bad, just always put some time aside for your craft and work on it. There's no excuse for not working on your craft every day, and just keep on going, just keep on putting reps in. I'm going to use a more fitness vocabulary. Just keep on putting reps every day, putting sets and workouts, and it's gonna start working out. So that's the short tip. The long tip is that first of all, be sure that what you're putting your work now in is what you want to do. So it's never gonna be crystal clear, this is my calling, like a lot of motivational YouTube videos
make it sound out there. It's always gonna feel like a little bit unsure and this and that. But if there's passion in what you do, if there's a spark, if this is something that you always felt like when you did this, time always passed by fast in your life. If your demons, all the negative things in your head, of the negative thoughts, all the things you fear in your life, if these things vanish when you're practicing your craft, then that's a good sign that you're doing something you're passionate about. So just keep on working on it, but also remember that it's not just about a content, it's about promoting it, it's about marketing. And marketing doesn't have to be this like manipulative thing. There are two sides, as we said, the dark force and the bright force of marketing. I think that the bright force is, first of all, a lot more functional. It's gonna let you sleep also better at night. I couldn't imagine myself like doing those manipulative like ads, like those midnight TV ads with this like fitness bands or bows or whatever people use, like get ripped with 5 minutes a day of doing this or whatever. I can never. I don't think I could sleep these things. But if you find your passion and you learn to market it, it's gonna help you grow with your business, but it's gonna help you as a person. Like I see marketing nowadays as a life philosophy, because it's all about learning to create value for other people and helping people in the best way. It's learning about being less egoistic, about thinking less about you and thinking more about other people. And in a way, this also leads to more value for you, because, as we said before, if you can help enough people get what they want, eventually you're going to get what you want. So, that's the long version of my tip. I hope it helps.
Great tips, man. And man, look, it's been great having you on today. I think we definitely need to do it again. But until that point in time, how can the listeners find you? What's your social media and what is your website?
Yes. So my website is homemademuscle.com. You can find my social media there. I'm mostly active on Facebook and Instagram, so I try to do those two as good as possible. So on Instagram you can find me as Homemade Muscles with it's a plural with an S in the end, and on Facebook it's Homemade Muscle again. Hopefully whatever you type, my group will show first, I hope. So yeah, those are the places I'm most active, and of course on YouTube, which is my biggest project. It's Homemade Muscles.
Perfect, man. And so this is a podcast, guys. You can go back and listen to those, but also it will be in the show notes, as always, on the fitpropodcast.com website, where you can find Anthony. Anthony, it's been great having you, man.
Yeah, man. Also really fun for me. Thank you for having me on your show.
How do you finish your YouTube videos? Because I still don't know how to finish an audio podcast.
Yes, I have the same typical tagline I use, which is keep on training with a bicep pose.
Perfect. So you can't see me, but I'm doing a bicep pose.
Nice.
And keep on listening to the podcast, and catch you on the next one, listeners. Peace.
Great. Bye.
That was episode 31 of the Fit Pro podcast with Anthony Arvantakis, the creator of Homemade Muscle. Now, if you want to know more about Anthony, there is links to his social as well as his website in the show notes. And as always, if you haven't already, make sure you head to the Facebook page, give us a big thumbs up, and if you haven't as well, make sure you visit the iTunes page. There'll be a link below. You can go there, leave a review, subscribe to the podcast if you have not already. Subscribe to the Fit Pro podcast on iTunes. It is free, and every time a new episode comes out, it downloads automatically onto your phone, or any media, or anything that you do have, phone, iPad, your computer. Well, I'm just rambling here. But, that being said, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the show as much as I enjoyed interviewing Anthony. We'll definitely get him on again. And that is the end of this episode of the Fit Pro Podcast. I am out. If you like what you heard and you want to hear more, make sure you head to fitpropodcast.com and check us out there. That is all. Peace.